Hey guys, and welcome to a new video, and this one's going to be a little different. I'm going to be talking about 10 of my really lucky moments that I've had on RuneScape since I started making videos. And if you know me well enough, I am ridiculously lucky on this game, and I say that pretty much every video, so you guys know the drill. And this was very hard to actually decide the placement of all the moments and, deciding on including some moments because there has been so much shit that has happened, in the past 3 years. So if you're a longtime viewer, this might be a really nice nostalgia trip for you. Plus for me, it's really nice to look back and see what's happened, Good way to see the memories. But if you're a new viewer, this video might help you find more content if you want. For each of the moments, I will be saying what video it came from and what time period, and I will have annotation links to those videos. So if you are interested in, more of something like that, you can check out those videos. But anyway, without further ado, let's go into the countdown. For my 10th luckiest moment, this was hard to decide. I had a couple that I kicked off just because I didn't feel like they fit the list, but this one I felt deserved at least the 10th spot. And this is actually quite recent. This was from March 2016, and it was first featured in my Master of PVM series episode 7. If you're unfamiliar, that is where I go for all of the boss pets. And I was just doing some corp, and somehow I got a solo divine sigil on my 215th kill. And that was my first ever solo sigil, so it was really, really cool. And if you are wondering, the divine sigil I think is like 14 mil, so not super expensive, but it's a nice chunk of change. And for the number 9 spot, this is from April 2015. And this is coming from my 500 KALPHITE King loot video. And we were doing 4-man kills back then because KALPHITE King actually made a lot of money for 4-man teams. Not really that way anymore. But we managed to get back-to-back Drygors. First being a main hand rapier and second being an offhand rapier. Now I know Drygors aren't extremely expensive nor super rare, but I feel like getting back-to-back is worthy of a mention. Plus they were actually good Drygors. Good thing we didn't get the offhand mace. That would have sucked. So for number 8, this was from June 2015, and it first came from episode 2 of my Road to 120 Slayer series. And if you guys are unaware, the Edemu can drop the Blood Shard, which in June 2015, they were 15 mil each, so you really wanted to get one. They have a drop rate of 1 in 500, and I managed to get 3 Blood Shards in one task of Edemu. And Edemu is about, 200, 250 per task. So just mathematically, that's ridiculous. And then the only thing with this is my recording software at the time fucked me over, and it did not save the clips properly. So I do have a picture of my adventures log proving that I did get it within like an hour or so span. So I got 3 blood shards, 15 mil each, so that's 45 mil. And then I could probably say I got maybe 5 mil in commons because I think I got like a rare drop table drop. So let's just say I made 50 mil that task, and it took, let's say, an hour. It probably was a little longer. But if we consider it an hour, I made 50 mil in that 1 hour. Like, oh my god. When I made that video, I'm pretty sure I said that was my luckiest task I've ever had. And I think I still haven't beaten it. I'm pretty sure I'll never beat that luck. But yeah, my luck still hasn't ended. We're only at number 7. Speaking of number 7, this was from my original BARROWS series in 2014, and this was the second episode of that series. And I say original because I actually am restarting the BARROWS series. I just uploaded episode 1, and this isn't like actually BARROWS drops. This was like really crazy. I got an effigy off of a rat when doing kill count, and then in the same episode, so within a span of like I think 15 chests, I got a champion scroll from a skeleton also on kill count. Like, I'm just going to leave you with that. I mean, you already know, champion scrolls are 1 in 5,000. Effigies are probably more than 1 in 5,000. So, yeah, that's really, really lucky. And then for the 6th spot, this was actually pretty recent as well. This was from May 2016, and this was also included in my Master PVM episode 7. And this is where I got the Vindicta pet on 103 kill count. And then I was already really lucky with it because I got like a Dragon Rider Lance like 5 kills earlier. So yeah, I mean, I'm so lucky at Vindicta. I still need to get the second pet, but this clip really speaks for itself. I mean, I got a pet that is 1 in 2,000 base drop rate at 100 KC, 5 kills after getting a Dragon Rider Lance, which I do not know the drop rate for, but it is pretty rare. But anyway, moving on to number 5. This was from February of 2015. This is during the double experience weekend when Jagex does the 24-hour special effect shebang on Twitch. I was also streaming, and this was towards my loot from 30 hours of Saradoma God Wars. To give some context, the Saradoma God Wars boss can drop an Armadillo crossbow, and at the time they were 2 mil. So they're not terrible. And right now we're at 800 kills, right? So on the 800th kill, I got my first crossbow. Then 10 kills later, so on 810, I got another crossbow. Then 2 more kills later, I got another crossbow, which basically means 3 fucking crossbows in 12 kills. And then just 38 more kills later, I got another Armadillo crossbow. And then the very next kill after I got that 4th crossbow, I got a hiss, which the hiss isn't super expensive, but come on, 5 drops within 50 kills, 4 of them being crossbows? What the hell? So yeah, I made a ton of money there. So yeah, for number 4 on the countdown, this is coming from ARAXXOR in July 2015, and this was included in my loot from 500 ARAXXOR video. And again, like the Enemu earlier, I do not have the clips because I lost power after I got these things, and when I reloaded my computer, the clip was gone because it was like mid-recording, which was pretty unfortunate, but I do have a picture of the Adventurer's Log again, and you can see it's very close to each other on the timestamps. So what happened was I got my 4th web drop, which at the time I think was 60 mil, and then I got a top leg 4 kills later, and then the very next kill after the leg drop, I got an eye, which was my 3rd one at the time, and I think it was pretty good profit too. So I made absolute bank in that hour. But just you wait, that is not the best luck I've had at ARAXXOR. Next, for number 3 on the countdown, this is coming from April 2014, so a very long time ago. That is over 2 years ago, goddamn. And this was included in my loot from 1000 MITHRIL Dragons video, so I used up my chewed bones at the end of the video, like you should, in the hopes of getting a Dragon Full Helm. And speak of the devil, I got a Dragon Full Helm. And if you guys are aware, that is one of the rarest drops in the game. Getting a Dragon Full Helm from a MITHRIL Dragon themselves, I think, is like 1 in 30k or something like that. And then from Chewed Bones, it's 1 in 250 Chewed Bones, which Chewed Bones already are 1 in like 40 drop rate. So if you do that mathematically, it's roughly 1 in 10k of getting a Dragon Full Helm. And I ended up snagging 1 in 1,000. Now, it wasn't super profitable because Dragon Full Helms aren't that amazing. They're only good price because of their rarity, and at the time I think it was 7 mil and I sold it. But I could not skip it on this list because of how rare it is. Plus it's like that one, sought after drop. And then for number 2, almost to the top spot, and we're back to ARAXXOR, and this is from April 2015, so a couple months earlier than the 4th spot, and this was also included in my loot from 500 ARAXXOR. I'm not gonna lie, that was a fucking crazy video. But either way, to give you some context, this was when I was dry on a leg piece for 205 kills. Now, if you've ever done ARAXXOR, that is ridiculous. That is absolutely terrible because a leg drop is roughly 1 in 40. That's like the accepted rate. And I essentially went 5 times the drop rate, but I made up for it with an eye drop and a leg piece drop in the same kill. And I've only seen this a couple of times, maybe on Reddit, but like, what the fuck? I literally finished my first leg on that kill, and I got an eye. So I instantly made a Noxious Staff and sold it for 185 mil or something like around there. And the chances of that are really, really, really rare. So before we go into the top spot, I do have 3 honorable mentions that I didn't fit in any of the spots, but they were lucky enough to where I do still want to talk about them. So the first one was when I got a champion scroll from killing imps during my 1000 loot video in May of 2014. And the reason why I thought this was so lucky is because I got it within 100 kills. I think it was on like kill 92 or something, which is extremely lucky because, again, they are 1 in 5k. But yeah, it pretty much speaks for itself. And then the second honorable mention is from June 2014, and this was during my loot from 1000 KALGERION Demons video. And my friend Kai was killing these guys for about 9 hours before I logged on because I had school. It was during the last week of my junior year, so I couldn't get on until later. And he was already killing them for a while, like I said, and I hopped on and got a title in the first 4 kills of trying them out. And he was dry the entire time he was killing them. So he like literally logged out right after that. And it was so funny. If you are wondering, the KALGERION titles are roughly 1 in 500. So not super rare, but getting them, the first time you're killing them and just to spite your friend, I thought that was really funny. I really wanted to include that. And then the last honorable mention before we hop into the final spot. This was actually from my top 5 fails video from January of 2016, but I think this moment was actually from earlier in 2015. But regardless, this was when I got 200 mil on Treasure Hunter. And the reason why this isn't like an actual spot, I mean, if what happened didn't happen, this would definitely be number 1 on my list. But it's an honorable mention because if you remember that top 5 fails video, I discarded it on accident. I'm not going to go into intense detail. If you want to see how it happened, you can go and watch the top 5 fails video, but it's really sad. It'll make you cry, so I wouldn't recommend it if you easily cry. But yeah, I had to include it just because the 200 mil is ridiculously rare on Treasure Hunter, especially when you don't buy keys. And yeah, we're done with everything else. Let's move on to the top spot of this list. And this was from July 2015, and it was from my video, Luckiest Night of My Life, and this was definitely not an exaggeration. So on this night, I was doing some clues on stream, just working on my clue series at the time. I was going for 100 of each clue, and I was working on my hards at the time. So I was at like, I think 30-ish hard clues. I think this was the 34th hard clue, and I got a Barrows die, which, if you guys know, is one of the rarest drops from clues, and it's extremely expensive. I ended up selling it for 288 mil. Now, I could have held on to it and made a little more money, but the thing is, I was freaking out like crazy, and I just wanted to see that cash tag. So the reason why I put this as number 1 is because I never shit myself so much during a drop other than that Barrows die. Plus, it's 300 mil. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Plus, I only had 34 clues done for hards since the Barrows die came out. So yeah, I think it deserves the top spot. But if you guys enjoyed the list, drop a comment, tell me some feedback. If you guys remember anything from my channel that you thought was really lucky and should have been included, that I missed or something, then also drop that down below. But if you also have any really lucky moments that you've had, I would love to read those. And the last thing before we go, I do want to ask, because I haven't made a countdown video since my top 5 fails, and this is my first one since then, I do want to make more of these videos. I think they're really fun, so if you do want to watch more countdown videos, drop down some suggestions of lists I could do. I do prefer, like, top 5s or top 10s that are, you know, relevant to me, like luckiest moments, top 5 fails, top 10 drops, whatever, that kind of stuff. If you have any ideas on what I could do, drop them down below as well. You can suggest anything. Anything is welcome. If it is a nice idea, I'll try it out and make a video. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this list. Sorry it was really long, but there was so much to go through. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.